Gemini, welcome to your horoscope for the new moon in Pisces. This is happening on the 20th of February at 6 minutes past 6 if you're in the southern hemisphere with me, so change your time zone for the appropriate part of the planet that you're on. And this is a really lovely, cooling, fresh moon. I think that there's going to be a lot of great magical potential at this time for you, Gemini, and there's also a lot of relief that I can feel. I think part of that is to do with Mars making its journey forward and eventually leaving your first house after such a strenuous time of potential frustration for you. It's been a long 7 months of their presence in your first house. So look forward to the 25th of March. Look forward to that ingress into Cancer. However, at this lunation in particular, as well as the sun, the moon coming together at 1 degree of Pisces, we also have a trine between Mars and Mercury in Aquarius. And so I'll explain this to you a little bit. Mercury is the planet that brings with it intel, information, the landing point for messages from spirit land. And so Mercury is the quick moving one, the one with the repetitious this is the one, the guiding light around the zodiac that has all of these different decisions to make and aids us in our decision making. And so Mercury is in Aquarius in your 9th house, which is where we study, learn, expand our minds, gain in knowledge and wisdom, and also eventually proffer that wisdom to other people. So that mercurial energy, along with Saturn still there with the boundaries, they'll be leaving soon enough though, but Mercury is there with a clarity, with a forward activation, trining in right relationship with Mars in your first house. So think about that. It's kind of like there is almost like a light bulb moment that I feel for you that might ping at this new moon, at this lunation, this dark night where we have to rely on our instincts. It's a very magical night to have a lunation in Pisces. You know, the moon loves it in Pisces so much. There's so much benefit that the moon provides us for emotional healing, emotional coddling is maybe a feeling that I get with a Pisces moon. And so for you, Pisces itself rules your 10th house, which is where you're most publicly perceived, Gemini. It's the most obvious parts about you, the most visible parts. And I really like this in your chart because it shows that your Piscean attributes or principles, that sort of intuitive, magical, empathetic, caring, loving, connecting energy is in your 10th. So I would hazard a guess that your Pisces bits are quite obvious. You may have planets in Pisces too, sort of amplifying that idea, but in the way that Pisces is the most visible. So it's almost, like I feel healing from you. I feel that there is empathy is probably the best word for it. I know it's an overused term, and there are definitely people that are self-described empaths in this life, and it's become a meme and all of that kind of thing. I think there's nothing wrong with that, really. It's great to get the information out as long as people register that to have empathy is just a very useful human thing. We all should have empathy. To be an empath isn't a cross to bear, and it's not a position in life where you need to feel that you're taken advantage of time and again. It's the ability to see life from somebody else's perspective and to understand and register their pain. And so with healthy empathy, we can also protect our energy and protect ourselves enough in order to go the distance, to engage and to show up for other folks in their emotional discoveries. I'm not sure why I said that. That's kind of, it's not irrelevant, but anyway. Yeah, I've just been thinking a lot about that sort of like, as an empath, that sort of phrase. And it's like, yes, you are. To have empathy is a useful human attribute. It's folks that can't feel empathy that we need to yeah, I mean, that's another story. Having empathy makes you special, absolutely, as it all makes everyone special. That idea of thinking about the other and feeling what they feel. I think with Pisces in this 10th, maybe this is where I'm getting, I think that because it's a new moon, because we get to ask for and to work with the energies in the sky, it might be really great for you, Gemini. Yeah, maybe protective blanket, I think. There's something about, yeah. Okay, here we go. This is why I said all of that stuff. Pisces has a reputation for perhaps having boundless empathy. And sometimes the absorbency of that sign has the individual sort of just swamped, logged with the emotions of other people. And that can be a cross to bear. That can have one sinking to the bottom. That is being overly empathetic to the point of feeling what other people are feeling and not having safeguards or barriers, boundaries in place. And so I don't know, this is, yeah, I'm kind of feel like I'm speaking to, it's Pisces in the 10th. This is your most public self, your career, your legacy. So I'm probably just parroting back to you what you tell other people as well. In that, if that's the case, then great, maybe this new moon is a great moment for you to really register that and to really ask for it, in your magical work, as you're working with the energy of the moon, as you're asking for the next maybe leveling up of your career. Perhaps if you're sort of thinking, okay, well, it's a 10th house moon, so I want to see this happen in my career, in my legacy, the way that I'm perceived. I want this to happen. And so probably one of the really great steps in order to do that would be to really work on that ability to have boundaries between yourself and the emotional difficulties of the folks that you're working with. Yes, that might be a good message. I apologize. I'm being a bit of a fishy today. It seems that I'm sort of going from that thought to this thought to that thought to this thought, which I'm sure you Geminis understand is completely normal and natural and fine and good. However, I had to apologize to Aquarius and just say, well, I guess that's your reading. I hope it made sense because, yeah, there's something kind of, I'm looking forward to Saturn entering Pisces, actually. That's happening on the 8th of March. And so with the lessons that we've learned with Saturn and Aquarius, we can take that into Pisces from the 8th of March. And so perhaps a little container for all of this. I'm Pisces rising Gemini moon myself. So, I'm sort of like mutable up the wazoo. I'm just pulling you some intuitive tarot now. And so, yeah, this is for another horoscope, but yeah, okay, center. At this Pisces new moon, Gemini, I wish for you to see with your magical eyes what it is you hope and wish to achieve as the next level of your career, as the next gateway, the next portal of what it is that you do for a living, and make it happen. Say it out, say to yourself, say to the darkness, the blackness of the sky, say, I am this, I am becoming this. Okay, that's much better. Whew, got there in the end. Let's get you some cards. All right. Ace of Swords. This is a golden sword of truth being handed to you from Spirit Land. I think that this moon might be a little more powerful than we think, Gemini. I think that clarity is going to come to you. As much as Pisces is maybe not so much about clarity, as much as Gemini can sometimes not be, especially with Mars there, there's almost like a cutting through to the quick, to the root, to the guts of it. And it has a lot to do with coming together with folks that you love. It has a lot to do with collaboration here, but in a sort of joyful, emotional way. The Three of Cups always reminds me of catching up with friends that you haven't seen for ages because you've been lost in work or you've been, living your life. We all do that, we all get high on our own supply and we've got stuff to do in this life. We've got our own rhythms and routines to tend to. But that moment is so sweet when you do come back into alignment, come back into communication, communion with folks that you really do love and admire. And it always, without fail, with the right friends, you'll know that if they're your people, is if when you come back together, you can say to one another, I'm so sorry, it's been so long, I haven't called you, or I haven't done this, whatever. And the other person, including you, says, it doesn't matter. I love you. I'm so happy to see you. I get it. This is kind of something that, let's layer this. I have the Queen of Wands here, which is magical activation. This person is so attractive, seductive, beautiful, confident. I hope that this is you, actually, Gemini. I hope that this trail that Mars has blazed through your first house, this fiery compulsion to get angry. I've got to think of the lightness, the light vibration of Mars too, which is confidence. That's the Queen of Wands. I hope that this clarity, this sort of truth, maybe it's being handed to you by your friends too, I'm not sure. Maybe you're coming into a moment of celebration with some folks. After a lot of hard work and a lot of commitment and a lot of sleepless nights, working, toiling away at something, I see you sort of coming into this celebration with folks around you. I like this for your 10th house, Gemini, I really do. And I wonder if it might be worth mentioning. Yeah, I think it is. Your work ethic has been really brilliant. Really, 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 you've devoted everything to this thing, Gemini. You've been doing so well and you've been laboring and resisting the urge to throw it all in the bin, to set it all on fire. I see that really quite clearly. And you're getting there, you're on the path, and what you're trying to say, what you're trying to put forward is really coming through. And it's almost as if this sword, it's coming from these friends of yours. I see, that there's going to be something that's offered or a solution or almost like a collaboration. Maybe you're working on something with somebody else and you get to, the truth of your work is revealed through conversation. And it makes you feel proud, it makes you feel happy, it makes you feel confident and beautiful again. It's also like Mercury in Aquarius. This 9th house for you, which is Aquarius. There's this commitment to study. And finally, the penny is dropping. Yeah. At this Pisces new moon, I want you to balance out the intellect, the mind, that incredible brain of yours that works overtime and is in consistent conversation with itself, especially now more than ever with that Mars in there. I want you to balance some of that out with your intuitive prowess, with that parts of you that don't need language in order to express themselves, the parts of you that are graceful and intuitive and soft and gentle and nurturing and kind and ecstatic and sensual. I think I said that before. Yeah, it might be actually some time to let a little pleasure in at this new moon in Pisces, Gemini. We've got next month and we get to say goodbye to Mars. So this is the prelude to that sort of release, that sort of feeling of like it's boiling over, and then we release. Yeah, it might be really great to release something intentional at this Pisces new moon. Well, that's your reading. Do let me know how you liked it or not, Gemini. I hope that the flow is finding its rhythm. Head to umaruby.com and get your birth chart read by me. I'd love to meet you if I haven't already. Book the spirit reading by the readings tab. If you're unsure of which one to pick, I would highly recommend the spirit reading. It's the one that has proved to be the most popular and also the most enlightening for the folks that I've read for. You can tip me at buymeacoffee.com/umaruby. Sign up to my mailing list at umaruby.com. I've also written some letters to the galaxy. I was at a zine festival last weekend and I was reading tarot at a street party, and I had printed out, I don't know if you know zine culture, it's like photocopied info. I'm kind of proud of it. I really think it's really cute, and it activated my creative self, a part which has maybe been put on the back burner for a while because I've been so studious. So if you'd like to read my letters, send me an email and I'll see if I can get you a copy. Much love to you, Gemini. Enjoy this new moon in Pisces. Remember, the moon loves Pisces and we get to interact with it. And this is you, your most visible public self, how you're publicly perceived. What do you wish to have happen? Make it come true. All right. Bye, Gemini. I love you.